Good evening traders, it's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with a daily direction prediction for the 6th of July. Today I've got two on the watch list, one is copper and one is ZARJPY, which we'll go through bit by bit. So we'll start with copper first of all. On the weekly there's not much really here, there's a, you can say short and long here, so to be quite honest this isn't going to be a long term trade, it's going to be a very short term trade, just for the London session and New York session. So I'm looking for this. So on the daily we have, well, to start we've got energy to the upside, and that actually started at 2.7. so if you notice the level at 2.7, we'll zoom out a little bit for you there, you'll see how this has reacted many times over and over again, which is quite nice. But what I also want to see, the counter trend to this is this upward sloping trend on the daily and the daily 50 EMA, where the price meets around this area here in the middle here, around about 2.6. you can get lots of rejections and deceleration, and you're going to see where this trade wants to head next. So personally myself, it's only going to be an in and out trade, and that's it pretty much for the day, simple as that one. On the intraday of copper, let me show what I'm looking for here. So at the moment we seem to have made cleaned a lower low here. I'd say it's been trending down. The 1 hour shows it much more than that. We have broke the 4 hour 50, but the 4 hour 50 is not normally respected in this pair, so I'm not too bothered trading through it. But to make it a little bit safer, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So on the 1 hour chart we've got this level at 2.655 pretty much, and as you can see just very recently it's got support and resistance in the very recent history. And when we zoom out on the intraday chart, give my computer a second to catch up with it all, you can see how this is this area as such has actually given it some nice support and resistance as well. I wouldn't say it's a major key level, it's more of like a trampoline where price will bounce through it and not stop at it like some other, like the 2.7 level. But what I like about this trade here though is what we've got together is everything converging to one place. We've got this downward sloping trend line which has formed the trend on the 1 hour chart. We've got this mini key level here, we've got the 1 hour 50, and I'm sure when you put the Fibonacci levels in there you're going to get around about 0.5 to 618. There you go, so you've got the 618 Fibonacci as well there, so you've got a lot of confidence in that area there. So what I'm looking for really is price to come up, reject it, reject the whole entire area, then come down, and I'll take it the minute it closes below the pivot or this 200 EMA, whatever really happens when both have been passed together. That's what I'm looking at. What I'd expect though is as this price grinds up higher to actually test this 1 hour 50, which it has done numerous times in recent history, is the 200 EMA would also rise as well. So pretty much minute it closes below the pivot, that's what you're looking for. And I want to get out at the recent lows here, this level here at 2.6315. when you look at on the 5 minute chart, that's actually a decent clean close there. 2.615 is round about there. So as you can see, it sat there for 10 minutes there. I don't want it just to kiss it on the wick, I want it to sit there so it gets me out, because you want to get out in this trade, simple as that. So a little 1% trade or so there. So ZARJPY now, although it's a similar style setup, it actually I feel has more confidence to it on the longer higher time frame. So this is the weekly chart here. We've got this little zone between 9 and 8.6. Again, my computer is lagging a little bit there. There we are. So we got in this zone, you could say we've bounced off it several times, and even recently we bounced off the top, come back down, come back up, tested it. And if you look on the weekly chart here, you've got lots of deceleration, reversal candles, which is quite nice. The energy to the downside isn't particularly massive there, so what I'll say is watch out for this weekly 50. So the weekly 50 starts at about 8.26, 8.27, but if you look on the intraday in a minute, I will show you exactly where I'm targeting, and you go, aha, there's lots of patterns there, which really makes up to about 8.3 roughly. So to start with, as you can see, you could say was in this form of triangle, then the daily 50 started giving us a bit of jip as well. It come back up, then started crashing down, and then this nice bearish engulfing candle thereafter. So for me personally, the move has now moved to downside. It's quite nice. I'm looking for value somewhere. So value is around about 8.5. On the daily, it's not the most clearest on 8.5, but on the intraday, it's far clearer. And obviously we're trading with the daily 50 on our side as well, and this move just done to the downside, so it's quite nice there. Now on the intraday, so we've got a triangle forming on one time frame, but look at this nice clean zone here between 8.5 and 8.7, multiple touches of support and resistance all the way through with a nice breakdown to the downside. So a pull back to 8.5 would be really nice to see there. Now if we do get rejection at 8.5, the next level down is around about 8.315, and like I said to you guys before, that's just above the weekly 50 there. So if you want to be super safe, you can put, say, 11 pip stop on this. You could, for example, get your 4 hour 50 in there, get your 1 hour 50 in there, and the daily 50 be in there as well, and obviously you go from there. But for me to take this trade, the key thing here will be this 4 hour chart. You see these low tests here? I've got to see a couple of tweezers low high tests on this 8.5 level, because if I don't see that, then I'll be in fear that the deceleration on the 4 hour chart will carry on going up. So I'm actually looking for decent clean 4 hour rejection candles there. And obviously on the 1 hour chart, you've got either 1-to-1 trade, 8.2 to 8.8 pips, so just over 1%, which is quite nice, keeping all the Fibonacci's in the 1 hour 50 on your side. Or if you wanted to, you can push it down to 8.33 I've got on there, for example. There's a zoom out there for you. There you go. So you could push it down even to, say, to the pivot of S1, for example, go for 1.4% trade, or if you're a bit more adventurous, you could push it down to that level there for 2%. So if I do get rejection of what I want to see there, I would most likely push down to the maximum of S1 person myself, because anything more than that, you really are trying to squeeze as much out of it as possible. And like I said, you want to keep your stop as safe as possible. But if it does, like I said, come back up, test at 8.5, the Fibonacci 0.5 level, a little trend back down again to S1 will be quite significant there, be quite nice. Okay guys, hope you have a good week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.